Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. This is the March 12th, 2019 meeting of the Hendersonville Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Appreciate you all being here. If you'll join me by standing, we're going to start our meeting as we typically do, and that's with a prayer and a pledge. So please remain standing after we finish with the prayer. Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to come together, and thank you for these awesome opportunities you provide for us. Thank you for this exceptional city and this state and this country that you've provided as well. Please help us to remember and keep in our hearts the folks that protect us here and the folks that protect us far away. And help us also to remember we have a couple of folks that are close to us that are hurting. And please look after them. One being Paul Frank and the other being Eddie Robertson. And certainly there are more people in our hearts and our minds that we just don't feel like expressing right now. But please keep all those of your children in your care. Help us somehow leave here and do your work, and take advantage of the wisdom you've given us so that we can use it tonight and every day as we go from here and continue to live in a wonderful, wonderful city that you've provided. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. I entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion.
I'd like to amend.
Hold on, we need a second.
Second.
Alderman Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to add Resolution 2019-13, a resolution authorizing the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to adopt the Sumner County Mitigation Plan as an official plan.
You want to make that item D under ordinances and resolutions?
That would be fine, yes, sir.
Give me the number on that again, please.
That is 2019-13.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Alderman Edwards, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I was just wanting to add Resolution 2019-10 to the agenda as well.
Alderman Brown, are you acceptable to that?
I am.
Alderman Petrelli, do you want to add that to your second? Okay. Okay.
Is that adding Mary's Magical Place?
Okay, so that's Resolution 2019-13, a resolution involving the hazard mitigation. Resolution 2019-20 involving juvenile crime. That's one motion. Alderman Sprouse.
I'd like to go ahead and add item C that's on our agenda. And then as well, did Mr. Gilly have something coming out of finance that needed to be
Yes.
added?
The
Hold
adding
on.
Mary's Magical Place.
Alderman Bolt.
Yes.
Okay.
Adding Mary's Magical Place to ordinance 2019. I'm not sure where it is.
14. Hold on one second, word.
It's just in the appropriating fund.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's,
Yeah.
oh, ordinance. Okay. That'll be ordinance 2019-10, appropriate funds for Mary's Magical Place.
I move to add both those, please.
I don't see 10.
So hold on. So
Oh,
the
here,
initial maker of the motion to amend was Alderman Brown. Are you okay with adding these two items?
Absolutely.
Alderman Petrelli, can you update your second?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Alderman Sprouse, anything else?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. So we have 4 proposed additions, which will serve as one amendment to our agenda. That's Resolution 2019-13, Resolution 2019-10, then Ordinance 2019-10. Those will go as D, E, F. We're also going to include in this motion allowing item C to come before us. All those in favor of that amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. That passed unanimously. We have an agenda. Next, where is Braden Palmer and his coach? Braden Palmer. Super. Can y'all join me up here, please? I'm going to tell you all about Braden Palmer. 4 times he's made the state finalist to the TWSAA High School Wrestling Championships. fact, the past 2 years, he's been the state champion. And this year, he finished the season undefeated, and he will wrestle in the fall in college. Brady, very much congratulations. And I also want to mention and his coach, Jeff Roberts. Thank you all for making Hendersonville proud. Appreciate that very much. Next, I need our Hendersonville Police Explorers Post. They were here not too long ago, but they've won more awards. Can you all come on up here? I want to say congratulations to the Hendersonville Police Department Explorer Post number 112. They participated in the Winterfest Law Enforcement Competition. That's perfect. Y'all know how to do this. In Gatlinburg, which was on February 7th through 10th. And the Explorers placed third in the domestic violence trial category. They placed second in the warrant service category. And the competition consisted of 80 law enforcement teams and 3,200 participants. The Hendersonville Police Explorers participated in 9 team competition events, while at the competition to include domestic violence trial, accident investigation, DUI, traffic stop, officer survival, use of force, employment interview, and warrant service and firearms. First, I want to mention Dorian Falcon. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. He is one of our advisors that serves with the Hendersonville Police Officers, and Amanda Hollingsworth, also one of our advisors. Thanks. And here's what I'm going to do from here. And then here are some of our students and some of our participants that participated. Tyler Grant, Michaela Grant, Isaiah Barnes, Charity Bell, Connor Covington, Ian McCoy, and one of y'all spoke last time just on the spur of the moment. Who was it? She's no longer. She's okay. You gonna say something? Let's do it. Okay, go ahead, Tyler.
All right, I just want to say this is a very good program to be a part of if you're interested in law enforcement. And Officer Falcon and Miss Amanda are incredible advisors. So if you're interested in pursuing a career in law enforcement, I definitely suggest going for it and joining the posts. We're a good group of kids, and we get along pretty well, and we do lots of cool stuff. So, yes.
Thank you all so much. It's a treat to have you all up here again in what you all have achieved in just a couple months. It's been absolutely amazing. Appreciate you all very much. Thank you all. Next, I want to wish congratulations to the Hendersonville High School Golden Girls Dance Team for their outstanding season. If y'all could, go ahead and line up here for me, please. The Golden Girls placed in the top 10 of the 2019 National Dance Team Championships in Orlando, Florida. And for the first time in school history, the team brought home 3 trophies for earning a finalist spot in the large game day, medium pom, and medium hip-hop divisions. And I'll tell you, they've got videos on YouTube that are just astounding. It's been absolutely amazing. I got to follow a little bit almost as it was happening. Y'all did such a good job posting those. Early in the season, the Golden Girls competed in the TSSAA Dance Championships, and the Golden Girls were named the 2018 state champions in the medium pom and medium hip-hop divisions. And this made state titles number 16 and 17 for the Hendersonville High School team. And the Hendersonville High School dance team holds more state titles than any other dance team in Tennessee. I actually think that's absolutely amazing. First, let me see your captains and co-captains, Caroline Craighead and DJ Hunter. And I'm going to ask you all to stay up here because captains have a special responsibility. Do y'all want to say something?
I just want to thank my team and my coach and for all the experiences and how much fun it's been. If anyone likes to dance, I definitely recommend Golden Girls. It's some of the best years of my life, and I will never forget all the memories we have made.
So Caroline thanked our team and our coach, and I would also really like to thank our parents. They've been with us through every single step, especially us as seniors. They've been with us for the last 4 years, not only shelling out a lot of money to make it work, but also taking us to 6 a.m. practices and staying through the basketball games that last until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And so I really like to say thank you to our parents.
Can y'all stay here and help me out? Okay. Grace Jones. Congratulations, Grace. Rachel Ruby. Congratulations, Rachel. Lily Moses. Congratulations, Lily. Rachel Taylor. There you go. Congratulations, Rachel. Isabella Patterson. Congratulations, Isabel. Devin Butler. Congratulations, Devin. Mackenzie Matheson. Congratulations, Mackenzie. Kylie Evans. Congratulations, Kylie. Jamia Johnson. Congratulations, Jamia. Anna Hart.
She moved. She moved away, but
Wow.
we can get it to her if you like.
Julia Schwert. Hold it. Did anybody else move away before I go on? Okay. Simone Evans. Congratulations, Simone. Ava Craddock. Congratulations, Ava. Savannah Vaughn. Congratulations, Savannah. And Bella Dancer. That's a perfect name for a Golden Girl right there. Congratulations, Bella. Molly Crockett. Congratulations, Molly. Chloe Tomasetti. Congratulations, Chloe. Anna Grace Anderson. Congratulations, Anna Grace. Jamie Jordan. I know she's here. Congratulations, Jamie. And Lyle Rogers. Why isn't she here?
I didn't make it. I'll take her.
Oh, my word. Do you want to say something?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say that these are hardworking girls here. For high school kids, they have a lot of work at dance studios outside of practice and at practice. They have 6 a.m. practices, like they said, and we're already having tryouts for next year. So yeah, they're just a really great group of hardworking girls. I'm proud to be their coach.
Here's what we do next when we have a group that's this large. We ask you to squeeze in a little bit so parents can get a picture of y'all. We might need a front row. We might need a back row. I'm going to leave it up to the coach to sort of figure that one out.
You find that resolution I typed up?
Yeah, I did. We're holding off until next time. Thank you. Andy said today he really appreciated it. Turns out it doesn't appear that they did that.
Thank you all very much.
Sit in the back row.
Thank you all for coming.
Back for this.
Where are Sherry Leonard and Kathy Miles?
Pretty certain he was invited.
But it doesn't matter.
I'm going to hand these to y'all first, and then I need your help. Thank y'all so much for being here. Let me tell you a little bit about the 2018-2019 Station Camp High School Bison Bells. We need to say congratulations to them. They're the dance team that had a successful 2018-19 competition season. The Bells placed first in 2 Mid-South regional divisions. That's the small varsity hip hop and varsity high kick. In November, the Bells defended their previous TWS AA state championship title in small varsity hip hop, and they received their third TWS AA state championship title in varsity high kick. The girls attended the 2019 UDA National Dance Team Championships in Orlando on February 1st through 3rd, and for the first time ever, the Bison Bells dance team is nationally ranked in 3 divisions of competition: the small varsity jazz, the small varsity hip hop, and the medium varsity game day. The Bison Bells are coached by Station Camp High School teachers Sherry Gregory Leonard and Kathy Bronner Miles. Thank you all so much. Do you want to say something about them? It'd be wonderful if you did.
thank you for inviting us, first of all, and recognizing the outstanding progress the girls have made in such a short amount of time. And we're so proud of y'all and all the hard work that you put into it. And I just want to say we're going to miss our seniors. We have 5 seniors graduating this year, and we're going to miss them and look forward to seeing what the girls do next. Thank you.
Did you want to add anything? Did you want to add anything? If the bells could go ahead and come on up here and get ready for me. Mayor Paige Brown and I, we delight in the fact that with Station Camp, we both get to hand out proclamations. She often reminds me that Station Camp is in Gallatin, and I remind her that most of the students come from Hendersonville. so yeah, Katie Glover. Congratulations, Katie. Kinsey Heflin. Congratulations, Kinsey. Kaylee Johnson. Congratulations, Kaylee. Emma McLaren. Congratulations, Emma. Madeline Williams. Congratulations, Madeline. Madeline Ashley. Congratulations. Y'all don't have anybody move, by the way, did you? Okay, good. Okay. Audrey Baird. Congratulations, Audrey. Lauren Carnell. Congratulations, Warren. Kara Raymond. Congratulations, Kara. Colby Winsper. Congratulations, Colby. Elena Safer. Congratulations, Elena. Lindsay Thompson. Congratulations, Lindsay. Abby Johnson. Congratulations, Abby. Kennedy Jones. Congratulations, Kennedy. Mita Sanchez. Congratulations, Mita. And Satine Simpson. Congratulations. What a wonderful group of young ladies, and it's wonderful to have you all here. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Now, I got to ask you to scoot in a little bit because they're going to want to take some pictures. We got to change the agenda right now. One of them's getting scratched right now. Congratulations, Joe. Elizabeth Evans. Elizabeth Evans. Oh, super. Board, I've got to apologize. We need to amend the agenda for 2 reasons. One is that the next presentation is not going to happen. It's going to be another time, and I should have let you know about that ahead of time, and I apologize. That's item E. But also, we need to have an executive session as item under other agenda items, which will be item B. So we have a motion to amend our agenda and a second. This requires a 2/3 approval since we've already approved our agenda once. All those in favor of those 2 additions, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. I appreciate that, and I apologize that I forgot about that earlier. Elizabeth Evans, best thing I can do is just be quiet and to let you talk right now.
Okay.
So go ahead.
First of all, I will apologize for my ums. My students said I should probably just come and sing it because they think I'm a terrible speaker. So I'm going to do my best. And I made you a presentation to distract you from my horrible speaking. So my name is Elizabeth Evans. I am the choir director at Hendersonville High School. I've been there. This is my 11th year teaching, but this is my 5th year at Hendersonville High School. And first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to allow me to come here and speak to you all. But I want to tell you about an incredible opportunity that we have for our Hendersonville students and what I'm going to present to you today. All right. So some of you may have been present back in October. I recognize some of your faces through that. We had an assembly at the high school for our choir and for our band. And at this assembly, Duncan Sands, who is the great-grandson of Winston Churchill, he flew over to personally invite our choir and our band to come over to London. Our choir has been invited to perform in the London International Choral Festival, and that is an incredible, incredible honor for them. It is an extremely prestigious honor, and it is very hard to be invited. And so he came over, flew over to in person invite us to that. So before I explain to you what an honor that is, I want to first tell you about our select choir. So our select chamber choir, it was founded in the early 90s by Miss Linda Tao, and as many of you have been staples in the community, you know Miss Tao was a staple in the community as well. She was extremely well known for all of the things that she did and her incredible personality as well. And I know that me personally, I will never fill her shoes. I don't think anybody ever will, but I just hope that I can carry on her traditions of excellence that she has done for many, many years. Over those years, the select choir specifically has received over 30 consecutive years of superior ratings. In music, when you go to festivals and you are judged, the highest score that you can receive is a superior score. So we have had over 30 consecutive years of superior ratings. One of the traditions that Ms. Tao started, I have loved a lot of the traditions. I've altered a few of them, but this is one that I know the alumni of the Select Choir and of Hendersonville has always known about, is their trip to the Biltmore Mansion. They go to the Biltmore Mansion every December and they perform in the Carols by Candlelight there. And in order to be a performer there, you have to pass an audition. And so she initially passed the audition with the group 20 years ago, and that has maintained a tradition ever since. The difference is when I came in, we still go to the Biltmore, but now we do it every other year because with a traveling choir myself, I know the value of getting the experience of going to the various venues to perform. So in my time that I've been there, when I was first there, I took the group to New York to perform in the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, and then we did the Biltmore trip, and then we went and performed in Orchestra Hall in Chicago, the Chicago Symphony Center, which is where you see the picture here. And then we went to the Biltmore trip again, and then this year we are going to one of the performance venues in Walt Disney World to perform in Festival Disney. We leave Thursday night, and I'll be traveling by bus with 40 high schoolers, so pray for me, please. And if you haven't, so you hear that we perform across the country. We perform in a lot of places across Tennessee, but I hope that you've also noticed here, one of the things I wanted to do when I took the position at Hendersonville High School was to put us back out in the community more often. And so our most recent places over the past few years that we performed in the community is at Brookstone and NHC. We performed the Christmas tree lighting, Rock Castle, many different luncheons and churches, Rotary Club meetings, Chamber of Commerce meetings, and many other places. If you haven't seen our group out, you've probably seen individuals, and you don't even realize it maybe, but our select individuals are on many different praise and worship teams that they volunteer for across the city. We have them perform in the Porch Festival. We have many local music venues, including Stomping Grounds that just opened up. And then I always have groups of students that take it upon themselves to volunteer to go caroling. And they do that around the Christmas time. In order to be in the group, it is a rigorous music audition, but in addition to that, it is a character reference. They have to have character references. They have to be great students, so academically and within their character. They continue with membership requirements and expectations within the group. They have to uphold great character throughout. They cannot get in trouble, and anytime something like that rarely does happen, then it is on an individual basis, and they understand that we are a representative of our city. Because I have so many different students that are high achievers in that group because of the high expectations, this is just currently as it is now. These are the other things that they are involved in: National Honor Society, football team, wrestling team, basketball team, student council, theater, songwriters club, orchestra, JROTC, track, tennis, and many other things. I let you know that because these students that I am about to explain to you about what their opportunity they have, these students are ones that give to our high school unselfishly and give to our community unselfishly. They are involved in many, many different things, and they are constantly giving of their time, of their energy, of their efforts, and of their talents and blessings that they have been given. I try to make them see the value of being well-rounded, and so within my group, I like to be excellent in our group, but at the same time, I want them to excel in all other things. Through our group, we've been able to offer our students many different music scholarships. 2 students last year are on scholarship on full ride tuition for vocal scholarships, and that's not including the many vocal scholarships that were offered to our other students as well. The students have also had incredible opportunities through our choir. They've performed with Lee Greenwood, One Republic. We have recently done several studio recordings. They've been a part of professional choirs, and they've been hired as professional backup vocalists in the past as well. Here's just a few of the places that we have performed. These places that we perform and the opportunities that they have now are wonderful, but those opportunities cannot even compare to the one that we are being offered right now, which is to perform in the London International Choral Festival. In this festival, in order to be a part of it, we had to submit an audition, and we are one of the choirs selected from across the world. It's not just choirs in England and choirs in America, it's across the entire world. We will be able to perform in front of those choirs and in front of world-renowned judges and clinicians, a 20-minute song set, and then we will also have a mass choir, so all the choirs that are all together, which I think is just so neat because it doesn't matter language barrier, nothing. Music is going to go beyond that. We will come together in a mass choir, and that will be directed by the current director of Westminster Abbey. So he will direct all of the choirs together in a mass choir concert that will happen. Each day while they are there, Beyond Music is filled with educational things. They are going to the Tower of London. They are going to tour Greenwich. They are going on a cruise on River Thames, see the Crown Jewels. They're going to see Buckingham Palace and the changing of the guards. They'll explore Windsor and Oxford. There's many numerous bus and walking tours that are available to them. And then also, along with our band, we will participate in the New Year's Day Parade. Our marching band will be performing in that, and they said, well, choir, you can't really sing while you're walking, so would you like to carry a giant balloon? And we said, yes, we would. This slide is going to tell you who can go, what it takes for us to get there, and why it's important. This opportunity is available to all past and present members of the Select Choir along with their family and friends. So even, let's say your next door neighbor is a Select Choir member and you say, you know what, I want to go with you, that is fine. Any of those people will have to be pre-approved, background check, all that kind of stuff. But that opportunity is open to those people, but we want as many of our Select Choir alumni and current members there as possible to sing in that festival. Here is our dilemma. This cost per each participant. This covers their airfare, their hotel fee, all of their tours, their breakfasts, and their dinners. It covers everything in the entire time that they are there except lunch and snacks/souvenirs. But that total is $3,655. And this is the why. Yes, resume building, if you want to be a list kind of person, resume building, fantastic on a resume. However, this is me speaking from personal experiences. I was able to study abroad in Oxford when I was in college, and it was incredible. And then also when I was in college, my choir toured in Germany and France. And I enjoyed choir, I enjoyed singing, but it changed my life to go over there and sing in a cathedral with my peers, the people that I loved, and close my eyes and listen to the music and the way that it sounded and the way that it came together. It made sense to me in college, everything that my music teachers have been putting into me along the way. That's where it finally clicked. So I know the incredible value it is to have that experience. So many of these students may not go on to music in college, and so they will never have this experience again. They will never have this opportunity again. For those few who do go on to be in a touring choir beyond high school, they may have an experience similar to this, but not like this one. This one is going to be better than anything else that they could ever do possibly in high school, and that is my personal opinion, but speaking from experience. So that is the great thing, that we have that opportunity for them. What is the unfortunate, realistic side of things is that really this opportunity, as it stands right now, is not just extended to all of our students. It is really just extended at this moment to the students who can financially afford it. And we know, and you know especially in Hendersonville, that's not everybody. Not everybody can afford that. And I have many students who are in the group who will not be able to do this. It is bait dangling in front of them that they look at and they say, that would be amazing, and I can't do it. So I am overcoming my fear of speech to bring that to you tonight, because I hate to look in their faces and say to them, oh, but you can't go. So I am coming to you today because we need your help. And I've been going around to a few businesses over the past couple of weeks, trying to make my path around Hendersonville to ask individual businesses to consider donating or becoming a sponsor for the students on the trip, whether they want to donate just to a general fund or if they want to sponsor a student who we know would not be able to go. And so I've been going around doing that, but I come to you today also to let you know that this trip is not only going to be recognized on a local level, but also statewide, as it has already been featured in the Tennessean, and it will be nationwide and international as it's displayed in England as well. So the goal is to take $1,000 off each student, but we would like more, even if we can. So my plea to you is, if you have any ideas, suggestions, any ideas for sponsorships, donations, anything like that, if you would let me know. You can reach me at the school. I'm at the high school, really realistically 7 to 5 every day, even though it should be 8 to 3. And that's my email address. You can contact me at the high school as well, and it's Elizabeth Evans. And thank you again so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Elizabeth, hold on.
Yes.
How many members do you have right now?
Currently, there are 40.
Okay. And see this up here. Do you have any events scheduled right now as fundraisers?
As big-time fundraisers, no. We just finished this past week our coffee house fundraiser, but that was more so helping them with what we've got going on this week and the remaining cost of their uniform dues and all of that kind of thing that they do. We are toying with the idea of trying to put on a concert within the Hendersonville area. Now, that's at the moment, this is just a brainstorm thought, but we've contacted Rock Castle to see what the venue looks like, all of that, and I know we've got a few connections with some people to potentially bring in some local celebrities.
Okay.
So looking at that, but we don't have anything nailed in stone at the moment. So when I say we are open for suggestions, I mean we are really open for suggestions. So. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the tradition that you've carried on there. A long tradition that you've done very well with. Any other questions from anybody? Alderman Bolt. Oh, by the way, you have to answer questions.
Oh, okay.
You can tell your students you're a good public speaker, and you covered a lot of information in a short period of time. Appreciate what you do.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alderman Petrelli.
Do you have a Facebook page?
For the high school, we have a website for our select choir. It's commandochoir.com.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook page, but the Facebook page is just for our alumni to stay in touch together, so there's not an open one. And we've toyed with the idea of that. We are finding that more and more students are thinking Facebook is for old people, like me. And so, well, they tell me I'm old. So there's no such thing as a Snapchat page at the moment yet. So we have toyed with that idea, though, to keep it open for all of us old people.
Well, wherever you list your information for fundraisers, if you don't mind shooting us an email, and we can share it on our pages.
Perfect. All of that would definitely be posted on our website, thecommandochoir.com.
Alderman Sprouse.
tell your kids that people on Snapchat don't have any money.
Yeah, that's
But get information to me, and I'll put it on the Hendersonville High School Foundation page, and that'll be a
Great.
place that's open to the public.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Elizabeth, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you
Appreciate
all.
what you're
I
doing.
appreciate your
being
time.
here.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's your question? Go ahead. What's your what is
My question would be with Mr. Hayes, the 100-plus Club last year did the concert at Rock Castle. Right. They acknowledged fire and police and had a barbecue dinner, yada, yada, yada. I didn't know if you folks had planned on doing that again, but it might be an opportunity for you to make connections with the choir to help raise some funds to help facilitate that.
Jonathan, will you repeat that so people can actually hear it? Good.
I can come to the podium either way, but I'll. Come on up. No,
Yeah.
no, you go ahead. I called you up that.
Alderman Hayes, go ahead.
Well, the 100 Club is a club that we give to as a Rotary, and this was a Rotary event that you're talking about, and we were honoring our first responders, and I want you to know, though, that I wanted to kind of keep it on the down low right now, but I am going to ask our Rotary Club to get more involved, and we probably need to get you to come, Elizabeth, and bring the group and
Certainly.
sing for us, and
Yes.
but we're a very generous group, but we want to help you.
Perfect. You just tell me when and where. We will be there.
Thank you so much.
There's a lot of people in line for money, aren't there?
Elizabeth, thank you again.
Thank you.
Next on the
you.
agenda, we have public hearings, but we have none, and then minutes.
You're
I'll
coming
entertain
to
a motion
27.
to approve the February 26, 2019 meeting minutes.
So move.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the February 26 meeting minutes as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have citizen comments. Citizen comments, a couple rules I need to mention. Speakers must identify themselves by name and address. The public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per individual. All comments shall be directed to me, not to the alderman, city staff, or other members of the public. The comments must address issues, not individuals or personalities. Personal attacks shall not be tolerated. Comments may support or oppose particular issues or measures, but the motives of those with different views shall not be questioned or attacked. Malicious comments will not be allowed. Speeches for or against particular candidates running for public office will not be allowed. Jim Edwards, 177 East Main Street.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. Chairman, I first of all would take just a couple of minutes of my time to say that anything that can be done to support the select choir from Hendersonville High School ought to be done if it's at all possible. I don't know how many of you all have heard them sing, but they're top drawer, and I mean really top drawer. And the reason I can say that is because I am a person who has actually performed in Austria and Germany in some of these select choir groups, and I know how they sound when I hear them. And I've heard the Hendersonville High School Select Choir sing on a number of occasions, and they are terrific. They are a treasure for this city, and you all should take advantage of that. If you can possibly find some money somewhere to help them out, it would be well worth the time and effort because they really are a front door, so to speak, for this city. Now, what did I come here to talk about? It's been a long time since I've stood at this podium, and I really I've just moved back into Sumner County, and when I was reading the website the other day, I noticed that there was an issue concerning a city administrator. I want to give you a little bit of history. In 1986, I was chairman of a group called Hendersonvillians Organized for Political Education. And the reason why that organization came into existence was back in those days we had a city commission form of government. And every 3 years, I believe it was, we had an election. There were 5 members on that board, and every time we had an election, the balance of power would change. Well, guess what? In those days, we had a city manager that was the person in charge of the city, so to speak, running the city. And every time we had an election and the balance of power changed, we got a new city manager, because the old city manager got fired. And so as we spoke to the board back in those days, the Board of Commissioners as they would call, One of the things that we pointed out is that citizens in this town wanted to be able to elect the chief executive officer. They did not want the chief executive officer appointed. And I remember there were 45 of us in that group, and we stood out on street corners in front of Kroger and other places, and we got, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,500 to 5,000 signatures that we turned in. Mark, you were there and your mother were there, and we turned them into the election commission. And we had an election, I believe it was on August the 7th, 1986. And these people who were the citizens of this city voted 2-1 to adopt the charter that you now have. And there were two things that we wanted to have accomplished. One, we wanted to elect the mayor. We wanted to elect the chief executive officer. We wanted, as citizens of this community, wanted to have the say-so about who the person was that was going to be in charge of the staff at City Hall and set policy. We did not want the Board of Commissioners back in those days, or the Board of Aldermen, as it turned out to be the people doing that. We wanted the mayor to do it, and we wanted to elect the mayor. The second thing that we wanted to accomplish at that time was to assign the representatives, the aldermen or the commissioners, I guess they were called, but we changed them to aldermen when we adopted this charter. And we wanted to set it up so that the aldermen were elected by ward. Back in those days, the commissioners were elected at large. And so what happened was you'd get special interest groups that control enough of the three of the five so that they had the power to direct where the city went. We didn't like that. We wanted people to be elected in our communities, locally, wards. That's what we wanted. That's what we were looking for. And so that was what we stood for back in those days. 45 people worked for 9 months to make that happen. And I think right now, you'd be throwing it back into the fire,
Jim,
so to speak.
30 seconds.
All right, I got you. You'd be throwing it back into the fire to adopt a city administrator. If you don't like the job the mayor's doing, if it's a political thing, you've got the ability to remove him. But don't change the system just because you got a political difference. Thank you, Mayor.
Jim, thank you. Mary Burns, 190 Roberta Drug.
I disagree with a lot of what he said. However, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk trash, as always. I'm sure most of you have heard of the 3 R's. They are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Well, I want to talk to you about the 4th R. It's responsibility. I want to remind you that when you go shopping, that what you are doing is you are purchasing things to get rid of. When you go in the grocery store, if the cut of meat I want is in a styrofoam container, I take it over to the butcher counter and I say, put that in paper. Take it out of the styrofoam, because I don't want the styrofoam, but that's my personal choice. I feel responsible for what I put in my grocery cart. I select items that are the least amount of packaging, because packaging, I'm going to use the deodorant. Okay, you buy this deodorant and it's got this real nice box in it, and then it's got this plastic container with a little roller and all of these other things in it. Yes, that's recyclable. However, why not purchase the one that is not inside of the box? Select the least amount of waste with your purchasing dollars. With your purchasing dollars, you can be responsible and make a difference. Am I boring you? I hope not, because it's going to take the responsibility of everybody in this town to not create what was on Channel 4 News today. Nashville is having some real serious problems with waste, with litter, with things of that nature. And I know why people get elected. Remember, I did that. I'm done doing that. But each one of you needs to remember the 4 R's. How many of you actually use a canvas bag already when you shop? You've been told to use canvas bags for years. Well, I sincerely hope that you'll notice that at Kroger, where I happen to do quite a bit of shopping because it's convenient, the bags are getting closer and closer and closer to the cash register. If I mean anything at all to you, at least buy one canvas bag and use it, and let me know that my standing here blabbering at you is making a difference. I might be an educator on lots of other issues, and I have lots of opinions. We all have them. However, my heart belongs to recycling, and it means a lot to me that you at least purchase a canvas bag and use the darn thing. Thank you. God bless.
Mary, thank you. Stephen Puckett, Sanders Ferry Road.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Stephen Puckett. I live at 228 Sanders Ferry Road, Apartment A21, Hendersonville, Tennessee. And I'm actually going to add a little bit to what I was going to say at the beginning here, and that is that when I was in my high school band as part of the drum line, our high school band got the opportunity to go to Paris for the Millennial Parade. That was a high honor for a band to have, and it was surreal. I was one of those students that actually struggled to make the money to be able to go, and I sold probably more band fruit than you could probably fit in a warehouse just to make that happen. But as much support as you can to provide to the select choir, please do so. You guys have already shown a lot of support already, but really try to help them because it is truly a surreal experience. My senior year, we were supposed to actually go to Pearl Harbor for the memorial service because my high school band goes every 2 years on a major trip. That's all we can afford. Unfortunately, that trip was canceled due to a little thing called September 11th. And so we were not able to make that trip because they were not going to let any high school students fly outside of the continental U.S. And I can tell you, for me personally, that was a really huge disappointment because my grandfather actually had ties to Pearl Harbor. So that was something that was major. So please help the select choir be able to bring as many students as they can to that surreal experience of being able to go to London and that experience. Now, for what I was actually up here for, and that is part two of my comments on the city administrator, because Chris Spencer actually brought up something after I had spoken last time around when he was mentioning the finances of it. And one of the things, and it reminded me of one other caution about the city administrator that is really a general caution of city politics in general. And that is that city administrators can be used oftentimes as a fall guy for unpopular decisions or even to hide mismanagement. And we have to be very cautious in why we select the city administrator, should we choose to do so, is to make sure that we own the decisions we make, whether they're popular or whether they're unpopular, and that we make sure that we don't try to use our city administrator or really any member of city staff as a way to try to hide anything, any political mismanagement or any operational mismanagement or anything. And so that's a caution that is something that I just wanted to put forward as just a caution. So I thank you, appreciate you.
Stephen, thank you. Next, we have committee reports, and our first one is Finance Committee. Chairman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mayor. We had our special call finance meeting tonight, and we had several things on the agenda. We just had a general discussion about ordinance 2019-5, establishing a 2.75% hotel motel tax. This was already brought before Boma last time, so we were just having a general discussion about that, and we did not vote on that. And other items, we had several different updates in reference to the finance department. The position has been filled for the Assistant Finance Director. Robert Manning was here at our meeting, and he has started this week here in our Finance Department. And the other items on the agenda was the status and updates of the audit. This was quite a lengthy discussion on different items that were needed for the audit. We have gotten a third extension through March 31st of this year. It was approved by the state. However, it is still uncertain whether or not we will have the items and the documents and the reports ready for the audit to be ended by March 31st. So our finance director is working feverishly with his staff and the new assistant finance director to get that done. There was other discussions made about if it was ever this much of a delay, about if it's going to affect the city at all and our rating with the state. So that still is up in the air. So hopefully we'll have that audit completed because it's a quite troubling situation. The departmental reports, all of them have been completed through the end of February and distributed to the different department heads. There was a 8-month delay with that. We had the status of the budget preparation. All of the department heads are working on their budgets, and it looks like we have a tentative workshop date for probably the beginning to the middle of April for us to get together and start discussing the budget and having our meetings. We got an update on the fire hall number 2 update, and we have a spreadsheet that accounts for every dollars and cents that have been spent on the, it's quite a lengthy spreadsheet that we had, and we had an accounting of all of that. And that's the end of my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Chairman Cunningham, thank you. General Committee, Chairman Sprouse.
Thank you. General Committee met tonight. We considered 2 ordinances. First, the mayor has proposed amending Municipal Code Title 8, Chapter 2 to allow beer permits in our parks. The committee passed that, recommended passing that with an amendment. Then Ordinance 2019-09, ordinance, Mr. Campbell brought us an ordinance dealing with inspection or duplication of public records, and we're going to have to continue that conversation in our next meeting.
Thank you, Chairman Sprouse. Chairman Brown, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mayor. We met tonight and approved our minutes from our last meeting, our last 2 meetings. We started a discussion on amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code concerning tethering pets. Alderman Petrelli will be working on that, and I believe be bringing that to our next meeting in a form of an ordinance. We also discussed Resolution 2019-13, a resolution authorizing the board, mayor, and aldermen to adopt the Sumner County Mitigation Plan as an official plan. If I could get Scotty to come up, I do want to talk about that a minute. I'll give you the nutshell version. The nutshell version is it's a comprehensive plan that if we have a tornado, a flood, earthquake, something that would affect our city or county, the comprehensive plan includes all the cities and all the government entities within the county. So if you could expound on that
Chief
a little
Bush.
bit.
So basically, Alderman Brown's correct. The mitigation plan is everybody within Sumner County, fire, police, EMA, EMS, the whole shebang, and everybody has representation on that committee. And basically, the mitigation plan, it ranks the top 5, I guess, possibilities of what's going to happen here in our area or in Sumner County. Number 1 was tornadoes, and number 5 was earthquakes. In between that, strong winds, flooding, and I forget the 4th one. I've got it in my book. But basically, it just describes how this is all tied into the federal process, TEMA, with grant money and everything else. And if you're part of this program, like we always are, it expedites the process of getting the paperwork started for like the incident that happened February 23rd. We can get our money quicker if this is authorized, resolutions passed, and we kick it up tomorrow morning. They're in the review process right now. The mayor and I had talked about that, and I think they're ready. They're just waiting on us or you folks to give it your blessing and move forward with it.
Thank you, Scotty. One more thing.
Go ahead. Chairman Brown.
I think the important thing is that we get this done, simply because there's money sitting out there that we could get, money that we would be eligible for. So I would urge you to vote yes on this resolution, where the mayor can go ahead and get it passed or signed and get it moved on.
And that's for everybody. That's not just for fire and police. That's public works, planning, codes, whoever, whatever opportunities they seek for funding, for grants or any kind of reimbursement stuff. This mitigation plan is tied into that.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you. Chairman Brown, anything else? Chairman Skidmore, Public Works.
Yes, thank you. We had a brief meeting this evening, just to get an update on the garbage contract. And what we were going to do is just to remind everybody that the date on the opening of the bid would be, at this point, is the 28th of March. So we're really excited about that, waiting to see what happens on that proposal. So basically, we had a lot of other questions and things that were discussed. We'll give you a report on that at our next meeting. Quickly, I do want to let folks know that we've got, I think, one more batch of rain coming. So just be careful. We don't know how bad it's going to be, but so just always be prepared for it. And also for the folks in Hendersonville that live on the lake, it's like my district, or our district, rather, I apologize, Peg. Wards 1, 2, 4, and 5. Be sure to watch the trash that's coming up off the lake. They've done, I will say that the Old Hickory Dam, they have really done an exceptional job this year. I was talking to one of our constituents this evening, and we have, we have Old Hickory Dam here in Hendersonville, but we're in an association of dams of Middle Tennessee, which is basically just in our area, probably about a 50-mile radius or so of people, and they basically this year, which I'm really excited to tell you. If you're in Public Works, you'd probably be elated over it too, but they basically, the way they did the letting out of the water at the dam, they saved about maybe $1.5 billion worth of damage to the Middle Tennessee area, and this includes Hendersonville. So we're real excited about that, actually, because back in, I think, 2010, it was awful, of how it was done. And, we all learned our lesson from 2010. So just keep in mind the weather. We've still got a ways to go. The next couple of 4 or 5 days after this rain that we're getting ready to have, it's going to be dry. So that's going to be a time for us to get in our yards and our property and try to straighten things up. But just be careful about what you pick up and everything off the lake. Be very careful, because there's going to be a lot of trash on the that will be left. So just be real careful about it. And Mayor, that's all we have to talk about tonight. Thanks.
I appreciate that. Public Safety, Chairman Brown.
Thanks, Mayor, for letting me back up. When you said, "Are you done?" I was done with mitigation, but I had one more thing I need to talk about. We added, Alderman Edwards added 2019-10 back to our agenda tonight. It was pulled 2 weeks ago and sent back to committee for review. One of those reasons is we wanted to hear from Eric Malden, our Assistant District Attorney that works out of juvenile court, and just ask some questions and get some input there. We did that with our juvenile judge 2 weeks ago, but we put this back in front of you. This is asking basically our state legislature to look at making some changes probably in their next session. These laws that they already have in place will take effect July 1st. But by doing this, they know that we're looking, and they know that we're supporting our police department, and we feel that there's 2 or 3 things wrong in there that they need to take another look at. So this would be symbolic in some ways, but it shows that we're paying attention as a city and as a police department. Thanks, Mayor.
Chairman Brown, thank you. Capital Projects, Chairman Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, tonight we had a meeting with Jeff Cundiff of the Friends of Indian Lake, and we talked about the Beatty Farm and the proposed park for that. They've collected over 600 comment cards and survey cards from the general public, and they've also held 2 public meetings here at City Hall to collect information on how the programming of the park would go. They've taken that information, they've sat down, and they have 6 different groups sat down and came up with 6 different ideas from what they all had interpreted, and they were amazed that they all came up with something similar in design. So they took that information and they went with Cumberland Land Designs and Barge Design Solutions, Friends of Indian Lake and Hendersonville Parks Department. They used land, space, or landscape architects and also civil engineers to come up with the design. And this is basically what they've come up with. They've also applied for 3 grants that are out there, and they're looking for funding so they can move forward with their program on this. And they will be coming to Boma to let us know the same presentation, so we can be updated on this. And it was really a nice presentation. I think we've got a good program going here, and I think it's something the entire city will be pleased with once this gets off the ground and gets moving in the right direction. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman Campbell, thank you. Alderman Woodcock had to leave. Keith, can you help us with Planning Commission? No report. Okay, thank you. You do feel like they're going to have a workshop in May, and we're all invited to it?
We'll get you information.
Okay, appreciate that. Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot there, Keith. That's okay. Next, we have ordinance and resolutions. We have second reading of ordinance 2012-2. I'm sorry, 2019-2. This is an ordinance appropriating funds for a traffic signal at Centerpoint Road at the eastbound exit ramp off State Route 386. Alderman Cunningham?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of second reading of ordinance 2019-2, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have second reading of ordinance 2019-5. This is an ordinance establishing a hotel tax in the city of Hendersonville, Tennessee. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Alderman Sprouse?
Thank you. I would like to encourage, as we start to go into preparing for the budget, there was some discussion about how these funds would be used when it was discussed earlier tonight in finance, and like to see if we could look at what Metro is doing. Now, clearly, Hendersonville is not having the influx of tourists that Nashville is, but then at the same time, we don't have the same budget needs that Nashville does. But they have been pretty aggressive in how they have applied hotel motel tax funds towards tourist activities, including police protection and extra hours needed around the arena for special events in the tourist areas. They've been able to demonstrate needed infrastructure upgrades and maintenance brought by wear and tear to certain areas that you wouldn't normally get. I mean, you can think that Broadway in the last 10 years has been used more than probably the 20 years prior to that. And so they've been pretty aggressive in being able to link tourism activities to basic functions of the city, and seeing that there are areas that are tourist areas that don't have residents paying property taxes, but they do have tourists who are coming in and paying hotel motel tax. So I would encourage staff to look at Metro's model on that, and then for our board to as aggressively pursue that option when the budget comes to us. Thank you.
Alderman Sprouse, thank you. All those in favor of a second reading of ordinance 2019-5, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have resolution 2019-4. This is the resolution rescinding resolution 2019-11, approving the assignment of professional services agreement regarding broadband service. Alderman Skidmore. So moved. A motion. Second. And a second. All those in favor of resolution 2019-14, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have item D, which is something that's added to the agenda. This is resolution 2019-13. This is authorize the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to adopt the Sonoma County Mitigation Plan as an official plan. So moved. We have a motion. Second. And a second. We're good. All those in favor of resolution 2019-13, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have resolution 2019-10. This was a resolution opposing legislation that limits the city's ability to protect its citizens from juvenile crime. Alderman Brown. So moved. We have a motion. Second. And a second. Alderman Edwards.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think Chairman Brown kind of summed up what this resolution is. But it is in response to the rise of juvenile crime in Hendersonville in particular. And what we're basically doing here is asking the legislature to amend the statute, and that's probably not going to go into effect. That's probably not going to be able to be done until next year. But we would like to go ahead and get this into effect, and we're trying to get the police department is trying to get other cities on board with passing similar resolutions. And if we can get a lot of cities on board, perhaps the General Assembly might listen to us. But it's, and as Chairman Brown stated, we had District Attorney Eric Malden came to the Public Safety Committee meeting and enlightened us a lot on juvenile crime and how this, how the current act and the current legislation just really takes away a lot of discretion with the judges and with the district attorneys to be able to properly address juvenile crime in this community. And so, and we heard from Judge Howard last week. We've also heard from Chiefs Miller and Jones speak about this. So I would ask that this pass, and perhaps we can get a little more detailed before the next session of the General Assembly, so we can tell our legislatures and the powers that be exactly what we're asking for. But this is kind of some broad strokes. And I won't get, if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer, but this is a pretty convoluted statute, and it deals with, there's detention of a child prior to adjudication, there's transfers from juvenile court to be tried as in adult court, as well as adjudication after being tried and found guilty. So there's three different areas. It's very complicated. And we're basically wanting to add, because it's not included in a lot of these, is serious felony property crimes that the district attorneys, the law enforcement, as well as the judges cannot properly address serious property crimes. It has to be basically a serious crime against a person, and has to be some kind of assault, something, it's not even burglary. It has to be even attempted murder, something up is how's that for the children to actually be held in juvenile detention. So we're trying to address that here.
Alderman Edwards, thank you. Alderman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have I'm totally in support of this resolution. Just have a quick question. How are we going to present this? Are we going to present this to our three state representatives and our state senator after we pass this resolution? How are we going to present this?
I'll do that, as well as I know Chief Miller is planning to meet with them and has met with him a couple times about this.
Okay.
They know what's coming, and somewhat appreciate the fact that the whole board is getting behind it.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Alderman Petrelli.
Thank you. To answer the senior alderman from Ward 3's question, similar to what we did on two past resolutions in the last 3.5 years, is send that resolution not only to our regional representatives at the state level, but also, and we discussed this in the public safety meeting, but also send it to folks at the state level who were on the committee who helped draft this juvenile justice reform, to let them know kind of where we stand. And we recommended that our PD, that they send it to their person on the Hill who represents them, and also maybe start sharing it with their other leaders in the law enforcement community, so that there's more jurisdictions, law enforcement jurisdictions who are starting to share that letter. So next year, there might be an opportunity where we can actually change the actual language of the bill to make it more as to what we need. Thank you.
All those in favor of Resolution 2019-10, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have a vote on the appointment of Charlie Floyd to serve on the Deer Monitoring and Control Committee. Alderman what? What did I skip? I'm sorry. Ordinance 2019-10. That was Resolution 2019-10. This is an ordinance appropriating the general funds for repairs and damage expenses related from flooding. Alderman Bolt.
Yes, this is a condition that we received.
Motion.
Oh, motion? All right. Then,
a motion.
Yeah. So
moved. Second. Alderman Bolt.
Okay. Yeah, it's on the condition that we receive up to $300,000 in insurance proceeds towards the damage by the recent flood, towards Inline as well as Mary's Magical Place.
Thank you, Alderman Bolt. That will come later. All those in favor of ordinance 2019-10, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have other agenda items. Under other agenda items, we have a vote on the reappointment of Charlie Floyd to serve on the Deer Monitoring and Control Committee. Alderman Waters. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Charlie Floyd continue to serve on the Deer Monitoring and Control Committee, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have executive session. I don't think we're going to be more than 5 minutes, but when we come back, right now on the agenda, there's just adjournment, which is all that's left of the agenda.
Motion, do we adjourn immediately following executive session?
Unless you need to take some action. That's why we left it open.
Mr. Bradley.
We just left it on, since it's been put on the agenda, just in case there was any action you decided you wanted to take, you have to add it to the agenda. You couldn't do that if you adjourned.
Okay. Jeff will be back in a few minutes. Thank you. Thank you all. We just returned from executive session. Alderman Waters. We have a motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. That passed unanimously. I'm always going to go to the old
Your input was very well taken.